Over the years, I have been fascinated by the works of researcher and professor Brene Brown. Her work focuses on topics such as vulnerability, courage, and even shame. In addition to many TED Talks, she has authored several books, including Dare to Lead, Braving the Wilderness, and also Rising Strong. In Rising Strong, Brown focuses on what happens after we fall down, when life goes completely amok. We might choose to stay down, or we might choose to courageously get back up again. It's in the getting back up that we learn to not be afraid of discomfort or living into unfamiliar territory. Brown calls this getting curious. And she says, choosing to be curious is choosing to be vulnerable because it requires us to surrender to uncertainty. Surrendering to uncertainty may not always be easy. In fact, it may seem just down impossible at times. Consider Philip for a moment. Philip was a disciple of Jesus who became an evangelist, a traveling missionary. He was one of the first of the disciples to take Jesus' command to take the gospel far and wide to all people. Philip didn't limit his sharing of the gospel to only Jews. He went to Samaria too. Things actually went really well for Philip, so well that in time Peter and John came to help Philip. Right when everything was going well for Philip, when he was in his groove, God called him out to the desert. And so Philip went. Now, I'm sure Philip was uncertain about what was to come, but he trusted in God's leading. Along the way, Philip encounters an Ethiopian eunuch who was sitting along the road reading scripture. Philip stopped. When Philip asked this man if he understood what he was reading, he said, "How can I, when there's no one here to teach me?" The man chose to be curious. He chose to surrender to uncertainty. And in doing so, Philip came along and helped him understand, even sharing more with him about the good news of Jesus. After the eunuch saw water and wanted to be baptized, Philip baptized him. In Acts chapter 8, verse 39, it says, when they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord called Philip away. The eunuch never saw him again, but went on his way rejoicing. And rising strong out of that water, this man went away rejoicing. Where did he go? I don't know. And I'm not so sure he even knew where he was going. But he went there rejoicing, all because he chose to surrender to uncertainty. You might say that in the midst of a worldwide pandemic, we are living in uncertain times. And there may be some truth in that. You could say that these times are uncomfortable. It's likely true too in some way. I, for one, don't feel comfortable or adequate enough to teach my two elementary age daughters all their schoolwork right now. I don't even know when they're going to be able to go back to school or when my wife can go back to work. Perhaps you are thinking some of those same things right now with whatever situation you find yourself in during these days. But what we can be certain of is that God will reveal God's self to us and show us the next step forward. With each new day comes a new opportunity to trust in God more. Yes, it takes courage. And yes, we might fall down. But we keep going. As Corrie ten Boom says, never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God.